let's return, of course, to that Massmart story where our reporters are following it on the ground. And joining us live is Lindokuhle. Xulu is Johannesburg, and Ronald Masinda watching the developments in Cape Town. Let's begin with you, Ronald. Good afternoon. A poor turnout at some of the Massmart stores in Cape Town in terms of this planned strike today. What are the union representatives saying about this?
Yes, indeed, Bradan, a very poor turnout here in Cape Town. Our first stop was at the Macro store in Ottery, where there was less than a dozen people at that particular strike. And when we spoke to the union, they were saying that they don't believe that workers didn't want to be part of the strike. They are alleged to have said that they don't want to hear from the management from that actual particular store, because the management sent out letters urging workers not to be part of the strike. Now, of course, in contrast, Massmart has said earlier this week that they are actually not holding any workers against their will to go on this particular strike, and that their main priority is to ensure that contingency plans will be in place. And with those contingency plans, they tried to get temporary workers to work during this time with anticipation that this strike might last for quite a long time. As you know, Black Friday is around the corner, and also the festive season, a very busy time of the year for retail stores. We also know that a lot of the Massmart stores were part of those stores who were looted during those unrests in July in Gauteng and in KZN. So Massmart is a group that is also trying to rebuild during this time. We heard from a union rep, and this is what he had to say earlier.
SACCAWU is a mandate-driven organization. The reason why we decided to embark on a strike was as a result of the mandate obtained from the members. Whilst we understand this period, then we also, Massmart Group has actually imposed certain terms and conditions of employment, reducing hours of workers, and also calling upon commission earners to increase the hours. So that has impact also on the premiums or wages of the workers. So we are saying Massmart is one to be blamed on this matter, because they did impose conditions of it without consultation, meaning that they undermine the collective bargaining issues with the union. In terms of mass build, which is builder's warehouse, there's a dispute around wages, where the union is at 500 rand across the board per month, and the company is at 320 or 4.1%, whichever is the greater. That's where the dispute is around with regard to mass build, which is builder's warehouse. Insofar as macro is concerned, there are pertinent issues on also changing conditions of employment unilaterally so, and also reducing hours of work.
And Ronald, I understand that some workers say they would rather continue with the strike action. What more did they say?
So some of the workers that we spoke to are also from jumbo cash and carry stores here in the Western Cape. They are saying that there are instances where they go to work and only to find out that some of the stores have been shut down and completely closed. And these are some of the grievances that they want to bring across, because many of them are unemployed at the moment, and they want to get more answers from their management. They say that many of these stores are not even operated by South Africans, and they want people who operate these stores to abide by the country's constitution. They say that a lot of the stores that they work in, there's not an opportunity for growth. Many of them have started out as cleaners and have continued to be cleaners. People that we spoke to in cash and carry stores across the province, in places like Epping as well as Lansdowne. We also know that, in terms of what Massmart has said during the week, they are trying to, as much as possible, to keep jobs. It's a difficult time in the country's economy, and many people are losing jobs. But as Massmart, even during the pandemic, they weren't retrenching workers, even given during the difficult times of the economy. So we heard from one worker who said he's been working there for 7 years in one of the jumbo cash and carry stores, and he says that, it's been very difficult for him, and especially during this time where he needs something on the table to put for Christmas for his family. This is what he had to say.
These Americans, which is owned by Massmart, Walmart, they are not recognizing us as the union as stakeholders of this company. And with that, it comes with down variations of basic conditions of employment, selling of stores, unilateral changes, not recognizing, doing things without talks with the union. For one, there was one of our jumbos this year closed. It was first section 197. One morning we just came to the store, gate was closed. No more jumbo Philippi. Basically, in a nutshell, we are telling these Americans that there is a constitution in South Africa, that you need to abide with this constitution. I can tell you that here, across here inside the store, there is workers which suppose that wants to exercise their constitutional rights here outside. But letters was going out, I think more than 2 weeks now, telling members that if they do go out and exercise their rights, they will be disciplined or even lose their jobs.
Very much that report from Ronald Masinda. Let's come to Johannesburg now. Lindokuhle, you are at a Massmart in the northern part of Johannesburg. I see, unlike in Cape Town, there's still action going on there. You've got the striking workers still picketing.
Well, there hasn't been any trouble with the number of workers that were turning out here. The expected number of them, in fact, was realized. It was a bit late because we were expecting it around 8, but the union assured us from the early hours of the morning that there would be such a picket, and I can tell you now that it is underway. These protesters outside Macro here in Woodmead remain relentless, really. They keep on taking breaks in between, but they go back rejuvenated, singing in front of that Macro store just behind me. Of course, this is the Massmart protest that we understand is underway in many parts of the country, including where my colleague Ronald Masinda was reporting from. But essentially these workers are saying they won't back down, and they won't be deterred by the fact that just in front of them, in front of this cordoned off area, there are some customers that are shopping. There is a temporary staff that's been put there to ensure that trading continues here. But these workers have been relentless in their voices, singing and blowing some of their vuvuzelas, but essentially making noise outside here to say that what they are calling for is something that they are willing to stand outside here and fight for. And one of the things that they told us was that, in fact, there is going to be some action like this. One of the gentlemen, in fact, Praten, is yelling at me that it's happening inside. Not sure about that, but we will be able to just get closer and get a sense of what is happening. But essentially, from the unions, what we've been getting is that there is an impasse around the wage discussions. They're saying that Massmart had only said that they are willing to give them around 320 increase, while these workers are saying that they want something close to 500. But they're saying that until there are negotiations are back on the table, they will not back down, and that they will continue with this indefinite strike. And you'd remember, Praten, that we are headed towards some of the busiest times around the trading in some of these stores, one of them being Black Friday, another one being the festive season. So certainly some of these workers, Praten, as we keep giving you some of those live visuals, are actually saying that they'll be picketing outside here indefinitely until those negotiations go back to the negotiation table. So this is the situation at this stage, rejuvenated because they just took a break, but now they are continuing with their pickets outside while shopping is taking place, like I said earlier, with the temporary staff.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Lindokuhle, we'll keep our eyes there, of course, on the ground in this Massmart strike.